Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we're going to be making grilled Hawaiian chicken with a nice mango salsa. Very refreshing. We're going to start off making our marinade because we do want to marinate overnight or for at least 5 hours. So here are the ingredients. Here we have honey, we have soy sauce, we have sesame seed oil. I chose to go with toasted. You can just use regular. We will need some coconut milk and some garlic as well, and then also we have some water. So let's get right into it by starting with the half cup of soy sauce. I went with a soy substitute, but it really doesn't matter because it tasted fine. Then we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of water. Then we're going to bring in our honey here. You're also going to want to add 1/4 of a cup of honey as well.
Submission. I know you're wishing that you could let your head down and mirror my emission. So why you worrying about being
Okay, so once that's done, obviously we want to go ahead and try to mix these ingredients together here. You may have to mix for a little longer than anticipated and with a little bit more force than expected, just because we are dealing with honey, which is pretty firm and sticky, but eventually after a while it will go ahead and mix right in. Okay, now let's show our coconut milk some love by adding a half cup of that to our marinade. Okay, so for the garlic, I added 2 cloves. If you are a big fan of garlic, feel free to add more. It won't hurt. Or if you don't want to add as much, feel free to add as much as you would like. It can be considered an optional ingredient, but I would recommend that you do put some in there just because it can be tasted and it helps to go create that Hawaiian flavor. Okay, and we're only going to be adding 1 teaspoon of sesame seed oil. This is important because sesame seed oil has a very strong flavor and taste, so you definitely will be able to taste it. 1 teaspoon is more than enough. So we're going to go ahead and mix now. We're almost done, but not quite yet. At this point, I tasted the marinade and it was super good. You definitely could taste the Hawaiian flavor that we have going on. However, I think it's ugly and I think it looks like dirty dishwater, and I'm all about aesthetics, especially when it comes to food. I want it to look presentable and I want the chicken to look better and with more color, so I went ahead and added white onion as well as some chopped cilantro. I think that looks fancy enough, so let's set that aside and let's show our chicken breast some love. As you can see, I have 3 well-sized chicken breasts here, so I'm going to go ahead and butterfly, and because we are butterflying, it's going to help the meat to cook quicker. Also, don't forget about washing your chicken beforehand. Water is fine, but I definitely recommend using some vinegar as well. Add your chicken to that bag and then go ahead and pour that marinade over it, and here is your final result. Go ahead and throw it in the fridge and marinate for however long. I marinated overnight. Of course, if you don't have time to marinate from 5 hours up to overnight, marinating for however long you can, whether it's 20 minutes up to an hour, is also fine. Alright, now that the chicken has finished marinating, let's go ahead and add our colorful ingredients to our salsa. The mango is chopped up already. Let's add our tomatoes, our jalapeños for spice, our purple onion, 2 more cloves of garlic, and then some cilantro. Basically, we're just making a pico de gallo with some mango, so a little bit of sweet with a little bit of spicy. Now, when it comes to limes, I can go a little crazy, so I have to constantly remind myself that I only need one. With that being said, you only need one lime for this salsa here. If you do add more, keep in mind that it can overpower everything else and kind of take away from the mango effect. And when it comes to salt, I usually season by taste, but if you go by measurements, I would say about 2 or 3 teaspoons. But be careful because you don't want to oversalt. So I am actually using a grill here, but if you don't have a grill or if you don't want to grill, you don't have to. There are many ways that you can go ahead and prepare this meal. Frying on the stovetop is fine. You can saute and simmer, or for a healthier option, you can also go ahead and bake. I'm going to go ahead and lay my chicken down here horizontally because, again, like I mentioned before, I am into aesthetics when it comes to food, and I do want to physically see that the chicken was grilled, and I want to create those charred lines. When it comes to heat temperature, I'm leaving mine on medium. If you choose to cook on low, just keep in mind it will cook a little longer, but that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with slow cooking. It's actually probably one of the better options. Be careful if you do choose to use high heat. You don't want to dry out your chicken, which is a possibility, so just keep an eye out on it. But this grill gets pretty hot, so medium is fine. Also, I recommend that before you actually marinate the raw chicken, set some of that marinade aside. As you can see, I have some in a container there, just so that when the chicken is cooking, I can go ahead and apply to keep that chicken juicy like you see here, but it's also to avoid cross-contamination. The chicken probably took about 20 minutes to cook, so that's going to be 10 minutes roughly on each side. Again, that timing will differ depending on the temperature you use. So if you use a lower heat, it will take longer, and then of course vice versa with a higher temperature. But this is how it turned out. I was extremely pleased with how it not only looked but also smelled, and I also really liked the charred edges, so we kind of did that on purpose as well. Of course, that can be avoided if you don't like that, but I like that. I like the way it tastes and the way it looks. Alright, so I wanted to bring it in better lighting so you can see how it really turned out. It looks so good. It looks so juicy. I love the charred effect and the cilantro as well. To me, this is aesthetics when it comes to food. Definitely looks absolutely amazing. And again, it just smelled the whole kitchen up. So I just went ahead and plated. For my side, I just chose to use brown rice. You can choose to use absolutely any side that you want, but it is a low calorie meal, very good, very healthy, and all of the flavors came together to create like an amazing taste. So I will be doing this again in the future, but for now, a grilled Hawaiian chicken with mango salsa, you've been cooked.